Hey geeks, it's Minx, and I'm going to be doing my review on episode 5 and 6 of The X-Files. So, here we go. I didn't do episode 5 in its own video last week, honestly, because it would have just been about 10 minutes of me shaking my head and probably cursing at my camera. I feel like it was an incredibly weak episode. I don't feel like it had really that much of a part in the series or this partial miniseries season thing. Um, it was ridiculous. It wasn't even X-Files ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. I feel like it was partially a weird commentary on where we're at in the world kind of right now, with terrorism being a huge topic and very controversial. The Mulder tripping on shrooms, which was actually turned out to be a placebo, was just freaking weird. I never really wanted to see him with his shirt off at this point in his life. Um, it was just odd. I didn't like the way that was filmed either. The introduction of Agents Einstein and Miller, it's like, okay, it's Fox Mulder and Dana Scully 2.0, pretty much. It's like if they had little mini clones. It's like their younger versions. With Miller being Mr. Eager Beaver, I believe, and all this crazy shit, and Einstein, which, by the way, I think is incredibly unoriginal for a name, for a character. Um, just being absolute, I'm gonna debunk everything with science, like old school Scully. They were, I feel like in a way it was almost detracted as well. I did like that Scully took Miller under her wing, and Mulder took Einstein under his wing, although granted, why she even agreed to go along with his plans is just beyond me. The fact, oh god, that it was so bad. Episode 5 was just so bad. Oh, I honestly, there isn't really anything good that I can say about it. I didn't find it funny at all. I didn't find the humor in it like I did episode 3. Um, it wasn't even really Monster of the Week. I think it was just the subject matter was a little too real, and a little bit, I just feel like it didn't fit X-Files. With that said, um, it was so bad. So bad. I'm gonna give it a D. I'm gonna give it a D. I'm not gonna give it a straight up F, even though I probably should. I feel the introduction of Miller and Einstein kind of gives us a hint as to where they're going with the future of the X-Files. Because we've already pretty much got confirmation from Chris Carter that it will be coming back. Which is good, because episode 6, which somewhat redeemed it, was the mini-season finale, and it was definitely right back into X-Files. It left us with a cliffhanger, but I have some pretty, I'd say, decent predictions as to where X-Files is going to go from here. So we're gonna just forget that episode 5 exists and it's, D-, very below average realm. We're gonna jump into episode 6. Episode 6 picks the main overarching story arc back up, and it actually starts off in a similar fashion as the very first episode of the season, with a series of photographs being overlaid on each other, but this time it's Scully talking, and she's discussing, this is how I became part of the X-Files, and this is what we, discovered, and this is what happened to me, and when this happened to me, da 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 da, and then, then it leads very nicely, bridges into the overarching story plot about the alien stuff being a conspiracy cover-up of another conspiracy. Um, and then the really cool thing, and this was probably one of my favorite bits of the episode, is when she starts talking about, her own alien DNA, and they like zoom in on her face, and then all of a sudden it starts with her eyes, and it just changes into classic Egghead. Um, so I actually thought that effect was actually very clean. It was very well done. I liked that a lot. So we get back into it. Mulder is in the wind. We don't know where he's at. His house is trashed. And they're on the lookout for him. So Miller ends up pretty much figuring out where he goes and goes after him. In the meantime, people are showing up sick everywhere at the hospital, and they're pretty much, Scully figures out, holy shit balls, everyone's immune system is shutting down, and it's because of, early vaccines that took out a part of your DNA. They took away a part of it, and Einstein actually helped her figure that out. And that she's protected because something in the alien DNA that she has actually blocks out the virus that is eating away at the whatever immune system responses in your DNA. So they actually get to work together, which I thought was nice, because it's like Scully debating with early Scully. Like matured Scully versus, new Scully. Which was kind of neat. You didn't get to see a lot of Miller, because he was obviously on the road chasing after Mulder. You get to learn one of the old peeps from back in the day is actually kind of working with the smoking man, is the one holding it up to his trach. So that was kind of interesting. It's like, wow, the tables have turned. Overall, it felt like a really good X-Files episode. A few minor nitpicks. I have never seen someone with an open trach like the Smoking Man has actually talk with pretty much no obstruction to his speech whatsoever. Like, normally you'd either have to at least like put pressure on it to close the hole, or have like a special speech thing, but usually it's a not just, oh yes, let me inhale through my neck and then I'm going to talk normally like I normally do. That's not how it works, as far as I know. I don't think medically that's how it works. So that's a slight nitpick. I think it would have made it even more creepy, crazy, especially when he like removed the part of his like Phantom of the Opera-esque mask. It would have been cooler if he had been like, I think it would have added a little more realism and depth and creep factor to it. For the episode overall, I think I would give it an A-. I think it rebounded very well from episode 5, and I like the fact that we're getting back to the overall main story arc. Because I was interested in how this was going to go. Unfortunately, it feels like out of the 6 episodes, I think maybe 3 actually really dealt with, the main storyline. We know that episode 3 was just kind of a fun Monster of the Week story, to get Mulder back to believing that strange things like this can occur, that the X-Files really did have a purpose and they are real. Episode 5, I'm just going to throw that away and not think it ever existed. Yeah, so I think only about 3 solid, episodes believe in that. Predictions. I'm going to give predictions for the next season because, like I said, Chris Carter has pretty much confirmed that the X-Files will be back. We don't know when, but best believe I will be doing reviews on that. Predictions. I've been saying it all season, all 6 episodes worth, that we're going to get to see Mulder and Scully's son again. That's going to be a huge part of the storyline moving forward, which was obvious in the fact that she told Miller that they needed William's stem cells to heal Mulder, because Mulder is all sorts of fucked up. So there's that. I feel like Miller and Einstein are going to, at some point, be taking over the X-Files from Scully and Mulder. I feel like that was their intention. I don't know that that's really going to happen, or, you know, I don't think the fans are going to let go of Mulder and Scully, because they are the show, you know. Not knocking Einstein and Miller. Miller does remind me of a young Mulder, but Einstein, I don't think she's as strong of an actress, as strong of a presence as Scully is. I mean, Scully's got the voice, the look, you know, she's got the attitude, and Einstein, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about her. It's a little, I feel like it's a little forced with her. Miller kind of sits in pretty well, but like I said, they're Mulder and Scully 2.0. I'm wondering if they weren't trying to put it in like they were going to pass the torch, so to speak, and have them take over the X-Files. Or if something ends up happening and Mulder and Scully end up, like, you know, kicking the bucket and it ends up falling to Miller and Einstein. I don't know. I feel like that's something they're at least going to lead us toward the idea of, but whether or not that actually comes to fruition, who knows. I do think we are going to get to see Scully and Mulder's son. I've been saying that pretty much all season. That is going to lead up to that, so it wasn't really a surprise. Little bit of a surprise that a spaceship popped overhead of Dana while she's there trying to administer the new vaccine slash serum, anti-serum, whatever the hell you want to call it. Honestly, I think the Smoking Man's behind that. I think the other agent lady is on the ship, or somebody semi-familiar to them is on the ship. Yeah, so those are my predictions. I'm super stoked that X-Files is back. I hope that they stick a little bit closer to the overall story arc, or at least have episodes that benefit that, you know, that point back to that in some way, even if they're not directly related, on a similar vein, stuff on a similar vein. Or if they're going to have a Monster of the Week, it needs to be something funny like the 3rd episode, and not a complete freaking letdown as the 5th. So, yeah, so that was X-Files, episode 5 and 6. If you enjoyed my review, please click that little red button down there that says subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and, you know, it makes me feel real good. Feel free to like, in addition to that, and feel free to comment. I respond to all comments. It might take me a day or two, but I do respond to all of them, as much as possible. So, see ya. Well, might as well put your tinfoil hats in a safe spot, because you know it's coming back. Later, geeks.